What's up, guys? PokerBrandon here. This session consists of 11 significant hands I played on a Friday night. 2-3 no limit hold'em, cash game, poker, $100 to $300 buy-in at the Park West Bicycle Casino. So, one of the first hands I play around 5 p.m. Low Jack opened it up to $22. Cutoff made the call. Big blind made the call. I see ace 2 offsuit. I have $6 invested because I'm on the straddle under the gun. It is live. I go ahead and make the call because the pot odds are okay. I would like to see this hand suited more often, but I'm happy to see a flop. Flop is 2 jack ace. I hit 2 pair, big blind checks, and I check just as fast as he does to keep the rhythm going. We send the action to the original opener. He's thinking about it, and after contemplating a bit, he's gonna make a bet, and he continues for $40. So one player folds, big blind folds. Now, at this point, I just gotta decide, am I just going to call and see a turn here? Or do I raise now? How am I gonna get more money in this pot? If he has ace jack or a set, so be it. I'm paying him off. I'm not gonna put him on ace jack or a set. And I think a check raise here is going to get me more money because I'm the new player and he has no idea how I play. I would say just check raising at this point. If he has an ace, he's gonna feel really good about it. If he has a weaker hand, he might even still just think I'm trying to make a move with a flush draw. I am holding the ace of diamonds. So I check raise him 140, and he goes into the tank for a minute. Not really a minute. You're watching this at actual speed, so you can get the real sense of what goes on at the table in actual time. He's staring me down, and I'm just stone-faced. Nobody really knows if I'm a nitty guy, if I'm a bluffer, if I'm crazy. All they know is I'm the new guy. And after some thinking, he makes an all-in re-raise. So it's a quick call from me. I'm not ever letting this go. I'm paying off anything better all the time. Turn is a 7, river's a 3. Now I called him, so he shows ace queen, and I'm good. My ace 2 held up. I'm happy the board did not pair. Happy to not see another jack, a 7 on the river, and I instantly rack up some chips pretty fast. Happy to see it. Okay, so second significant hand of the night. I see ace 5 offsuit. I open this up to $10. I get 3 callers behind me, and we go 4 ways to a flop. This was the first hand I opened. The flop is 10 king jack. There's 2 clubs. I have a gut shot. It's a nice flop to c-bet with. I keep the c-bet small. Don't really have a pair, and I'm not trying to get too crazy too fast. Big blind makes the call. We go heads up to this jack on the turn. It pairs the board. I'm not gonna get funny. I lost my flush draw, so I go ahead and just check it. And then queen comes, so I hit the Broadway straight, and then he checks again. So at this point in time, I'm weighing what is the likelihood he could actually have a full house right here. He played it super weird if he did have a full house. So it's very unlikely he has a full house at all. If he does, he's going to be extremely happy because I'm about to put out a fake bluff. It's going to look like a bluff, but really it's a value bet, and I'm hoping he'll call me down with a king, a 10, a jack, or a queen. So I put out $75 as an overbet just to make it look like a bluff. I would do this sometimes with air, so I got to do it sometimes when I have the goods. He folds and I get nothing out of him, so whatever. Happy to win that, and actually happy to put out that overbet because I'm definitely going to use that in my arsenal later. Third significant hand. On the straddle. Straddle is $6. It's double the big blind. Low jack limps in, high jack limps in. There's a fold and button limps in. I see a 4 of clubs and a 6 of diamonds. This is not a hand I want to be squeezing with. This is absolute trash. I would fold this almost every single time I play and I see this hand. We go 4 ways to this flop. 5, 6, 2 comes. It's actually pretty nice for my hand right now, but I'm not gonna bet into this. There's no money in the pot, so I just check it. Low jack bets 10, and then button raises $25. So I'm not sure what I was thinking at this point, actually, now that I'm watching this back. I think I should have folded this. But at the time, I think I know exactly what I was thinking. I thought, okay, I have top pair and I have money to lose. I'm free rolling because I'm already up double my buy-in. So I figure, let me just make this call and see what they do. And I kind of just made an info call, meaning I made the call just to kind of see what these players do after more money gets put in the pot, just to get a feel for how they play. Because I was free rolling. I already had a profit. Anyway, 7 of clubs comes, I check it, low jack checks it, and then the button bets 35. He's the raiser on the flop. I have an open-ended straight flush draw now, so I'm happy to make this call and just see if I hit it. That would be pretty nice. I did think about raising at this point, but I chose not to. I made the call, and we went 1v1 to a river. So river was a king, and I just have a 6. The only way I'm gonna win this now is if I bluff at it, but I give up. I check. I think I contemplated how stupid it was to make that call on the flop. He checks behind, so he was a little bit nervous as well as me, and he wins. He had 2 pair on the turn. So sometimes when I'm playing poker, if I'm on a free roll and I just want to get a feel for how another player plays, I will make info calls just so I can see what they do later in the action when money gets put in the pot. Anyway, let's go on to the next hand. Okay, let's move on to the next hand. Hand number 4, low jack limps, high jack limps, small blind limps. I see queen, king of diamonds. There's already, $24 in the middle. So this is a nice hand to squeeze, try to get 1v1 with. I definitely don't want to play this hand with more than one opponent. So I make it $30. The under the gun straddler makes the call, low jack makes the call, high jack makes the call, and then small blind is also going to make the call. At this point in the session, I started to see that I have been imaged as a loose player, and I'm getting lots of calls. So it's definitely good if I'm gonna hit, but it's bad if I'm trying to bluff, obviously. Flop is 3, 2, 7. I'm 5 ways right now, and holding king high with almost no equity is just horrible. I'm giving this up every time when I see this type of stuff, and I'm 5 ways. So I just check it. There's a bet. There's a call from a low stack, which I thought was weird. Why are you just calling there with your low stack? I don't know, but not gonna judge. Hijack seems like a pretty solid player. He makes a raise, and I'm just done with this hand. Let's just move on to the next hand.
Okay, let's see the cards. Show us the cards.
Okay, hand number 5. This hand was not so much a very action-oriented hand, but something interesting happened. You guys can look at it, make a judgment call. It folds all the way around to the blinds. Me, big blind, and small blind. Small blind wants a chop, but the dealer says there's a straddle. So big blind just makes the call. He limps in. Now it's my turn. I'm about to put in a raise, but the dealer seems to think I'm checking. She gets confused, she figures it out, and she puts the money back. So I made it $26, but the big blind only puts in 15 more to make it $25. I noticed this, the dealer doesn't. So I'm sort of already upset that the big blind got a discount to see that flop. But I'm just quiet at the table, I'm not really too worried about it. It definitely got in my head when I saw this flop 996 and he bets out 15. I sort of just was frustrated on the inside that he got the discount there. I didn't say anything, I just sort of let it go, but I just got out of that hand immediately. I was too frustrated to continue with that at all. Next hand of the night, hand number 6, around 6:20 p.m. I'm on the +1 seat. I see King Jack offsuit. I open this up to $15. Hijack makes the call. He is a new player. Small blind makes the call, and we go 3 ways to a flop. Flop is 7-3-10. Small blind checks to me. This new player hasn't seen me play. He doesn't know if I'm a maniac or loose, so I continue here, and I continue for $25 to deny all equity and just push everybody out. But plan failed. Hijack made the call. Small blind made the call. Now I'm ready to give up if nothing comes on the turn that's going to help me out and give me equity, but I hit a jack. So small blind checks. Now, I make a very risky read. This definitely wasn't one of my best decisions because I don't know how these guys play or what they have, but because I hit this jack and I see 2 flush draws, even though somebody could have 8-9, I go ahead and bet 100 to deny equity for all flush draws. I get a little bit worried when Hijack makes the call very quickly and then he bets all in the dark. So he's either representing that he has a huge hand, but normally when players play like that, they just are not so strong. He says 2-pair you're good after I see the river. The river is another jack, so I'm gonna call that. I have trips and no flush makes it, so I ended up just winning a nice pot there. Off of a mistake, I feel. I definitely would have played this differently if this situation happened to me again. Happy to see that the poker gods blessed me there. 6:20 p.m., hand number 7. I'm on the straddle again. There's limps everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players limp. I see 10-5 offsuit, ugly hand. Not gonna raise this, not gonna play too crazy. I just check it, and we're gonna go 6 ways to a flop right now. Usually I'm straddling every single time when I play. I love it when you get all the straddles and you pick up a very nice hand and you're raising it up and players just assume you're trying to squeeze it. Anyway, 10-5 is what I'm holding. 2-6-10 comes on the flop. It checks around. Another 8 comes. There's 2 flush draws on the board. Small blind checks, big blind checks. Now after this checked all the way through and I have the top pair on the board, I go ahead and bet this $15 to narrow down the field. 1, 2, 3 callers call. +1 low jack and small blind. River is another 10, so I got trips again, but a flush gets there. There's already a straight possibility there as well. Small blind thinks about it. He's the new player and he bets 40 right off the river. I don't know if he's doing this with a flush. I don't know if he's doing this with a straight. I don't know if he's playing sneaky and he has a full house, so I'm not gonna raise here. I think I always only call in this situation holding trips. So I make the call. Go ahead and listen to the action.
Ain't say shit all day. I was just trying to get him to say something. I got a pair of 8s and a pair of 10s. You got trip 10s. There you go.
Okay, so small blind was making a move. He turned his pair of 8s into a bluff. He just didn't think anybody had a 10. Pretty good move. I think he gets that through. If nobody has a 10 in that situation, obviously nobody had a flush, so it wasn't too bad of a play. I just had the 10. Next hand, Hand number 8. It's around 7:10 p.m. So I tightened up a little bit with my gameplay. I'm on the straddle again. Cutoff, new player, opens it up to 12. He has not opened up ever since he sat down. So I found that pretty interesting, but I wasn't going to take it as a complete red flag. He only made it $12. Button made the call, small blind made the call. And with Jack 10 suited, I definitely want to play this 1v1. So I go ahead and ISO raise here. Because there's already $36 in the middle, I size up to $60. But watch the cutoff's action. Okay, so I'm not sure if you caught it, but basically the cutoff pushed in calling chips, and then he announced a raise. And the dealer caught it, and the dealer said, hold up, with his body language. The dealer looked at me, and I sort of just allowed the action. I didn't say anything, but I definitely could have. You tell me, should I have said something and got that stack push changed to a call? Should I have got it changed to a minimum raise? I definitely could have. Would that have made me an annoying player? I don't know, you tell me. But anyway, I just left the action as it was. I did not say anything. Actually, at the time of this playing session, I did not even notice it. So I definitely think I made a mistake by not saying anything. But I also feel like I don't want to be that player that's sort of just being the guy that calls out everybody's mistakes and just being annoying. You know what I mean? Whatever. Anyway, next hand of the night, I see 9-10 suited. I open this up to $15. Small blind makes the call. We went 1v1 to this beautiful 4-3-5. He leads out though for 15. This player hasn't really let out like this ever, so I have a little bit of some red flags, but he only made it 15, and my plan at this point is to play small ball, call him down just in case he does have a bigger flush. 6 of diamonds comes, and then he bets 35. Feels like he wants to get chips in there. It feels like he's milking me. I can't imagine he's making this move with a bluff because it's so easy to call. But I'm not going to bloat up this pot with the 10 high as a flush, even though I did flop it, and it is very highly unlikely that he also flopped it. So even though I could bloat it, I don't. Now, I made that call, I made the turn call, and then he bets 85 rather quickly. Feels like he also flopped it at this point, but it's a very nice size to call with the flopped 10 high flush. I'm happy to call this. I do feel good about it. I am sort of wondering though if I'm gonna see a jack high flush or better, but no, he says I'm good. So he shows ace X, and he says he has a pair. I'm not sure what pair he had, I forgot. So I picked up a nice 150 profit right there with this hand. All right, so next hand is going to be hand number 10, 10th significant hand of the night. It's 7:34 p.m. on a Friday night. I'm under the gun on a straddle. My stack is growing quite a bit. I could leave here, but I feel like the table is good. I feel like the poker gods are on my side, and I'm gonna sit and continue. I see an ace of hearts. I don't look at the other card because I want to see what the other players do before I look at it. Low jack limps in, high jack limps in, couple folds over to the small blind who limps in. Small blind is the player who turned his 8 pair into a bluff. Now I see ace 9 of hearts, and I notice that there's about $20 in the middle right now that's available to take. So this ace 9 suited, definitely not the best ace, but it is suited, and that's good enough for me to squeeze this. I make it $30. Low jack makes the call. Small blind make the call. So we're not gonna get this one through as a squeeze. We're gonna go 3 ways. All right, flop is ace 7-6. So I'm happy to see that I have an ace. And I know that low jack is the type of guy to make very loose calls. He's already shown that. So after a check to me, I'm sort of sizing up what amount I could bet here to get a call from any single pair here. Even hands like in the pocket nines, pocket eights. I'm sure he would call me with the hand with like 4-5, 5-6. So I make it $40 and he makes the call. Just don't want to see a club on the turn, and I don't see it. 3 of diamonds comes, and now it's time to size another value bet. Sure, he could have 4-5, but I'm not really gonna just quickly assume that's what he has. I want to size up a value bet to get a call from any single pair. This player is the type of player not to put me on an ace. I make it $60 and he quickly makes the call. When he quickly makes these calls really fast, it usually tends to mean that a player is not that strong. Usually. And anyway, river is an ace of spades, so I have trip aces now. Feeling pretty good now. I don't really feel like he had an ace this whole time. I don't want to scare him away though. I feel like if I put out a very big bet here, he might let his hand go. He already has $100 invested on the flop and the turn, so I want to put out a value bet that's right around something he has to pay, even with like a pair of sixes. I make it $85. He quickly calls, and he's not happy to see that I have an ace. So low jack mucks his hand. He just didn't really think I had an ace. He is definitely the type of guy you don't want to bluff if you're playing him again. I sort of notate that in my head as I'm playing this session, definitely. Okay, so right about this time in the night, I'm sort of happy with my stack and my profit, and I am going to plan my way out now. I'm not going to bluff too much. I'm ready to sort of play nitty and take the easy money, not take any gambling money whatsoever. And, well, at least that was my plan. Last hand of this session, significantly for your viewing pleasure, is hand 11. Hijack limps in, cutoff limps in, and big blind to my right. He's a new player. He also limps in. He just sat down for about 10 minutes, I think. There's $18 in the middle, and with the suited ace, even though it is one of the weakest aces in No Limit Texas Hold'em, I go ahead and make it $30. Hijack makes the call, cutoff makes the call, and big blind makes the call as well. Not happy to see it. Hoping for hearts. We go 4 ways to a flop. Flop is 9, queen, 5. Don't really have anything. I'm ready to give up. I'm not going to c-bet this. I feel like that would just be burning money. I check it. It checks all the way around. Big blind checks to me again. I'm not going to bet this, though. I just feel like this is not safe enough to put money into. So I check it, and it checks around again. 9 pairs the board, and then big blind bets 100. So at this point, I feel like if the big blind had an ace, wouldn't he have bet that? If he had a flush, I'm sure, yeah, he might have checked it, but did he really check a flush all the way around with not trying to get any value out of anybody? If he had a queen, would he have really have checked that on the flop? Like, the stories really don't make sense. And then he bets 100 into a $122 pot. So basically, I can't quite put together a story that makes sense right now for him to bet $100 with 3 players behind. It doesn't look like he wants the call. It looks like he wants folds. I really just have a bluff catcher. If he has an ace, we're gonna chop it up. I doubt he has ace king. So even though I can't really quite put together the story of what he has, I make the call hoping to catch him bluffing. He shows 2-9, he hit trip nines. I'm sort of weirded out seeing 2-9 offsuit. And I take that as this is my sign to get up and go. So that's gonna conclude my session. I was in for $300. I walked out with about $1,000. I'm PokerBrandon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you liked the video.